All right. Another episode of IG Live. Here we go. This is a big episode. We're having Dr. Forbes Riley herself. So, this is going to be a good episode. Definitely one that you want to tune into. This is something you might even want to screen record because there's going to be all kinds of insight, stuff that we can learn. If you're in the business field, if you're in the corporate field, there's a lot of insight that we're going to be able to get from Dr. Riley herself. She has an incredible career, whether it's in fitness or in acting or in sales. She has her own products, and she's really made quite the impact throughout her career. And it's just awesome that we are going to be having her today. It's going to be really something special. So each week, this is something we're going to be having a different guest that is a specialist in a different or certain areas, and have them come and bring value. That's the whole idea. We're going to have them come and bring value. So we'll give her a few more moments here to jump on. Let's see. And we'll get this party started. It's a blessing to have her on. And, it just really shows because we met just a few weeks ago. And all right.
Let's see how
Okay,
we
it
do this.
looks like we have
Steve,
Dr.
yeah,
Riley. Can you hear
I
us?
can hear you fine.
Hey, how are
I-
you?
I'm doing good. I'm going to take you outside. Get some nice
Okay,
sunshine here.
let's go. What do you got going on today?
Oh my goodness! I've just been celebrating my birthday. We just raised $6,000 to stop some human trafficking out in South Africa. I worked with a whole bunch of people there.
Okay.
I taught this morning. I taught my GSD, had productivity training, and I just booked a lead in a movie with Billy Blanks and Cynthia Rothrock, an action-packed martial arts western picture starting in late October.
Wow. Wow. So kind of a low-key week for you.
Yeah, pretty much average.
Well, that's the normal for Dr. Forbes Riley.
It is, actually. It is definitely.
Awesome.
I had a birthday party, virtual birthday party with 300 people on it. My husband and I took off a day and went to Universal and got to ride the Harry Potter rides and be silly like kids. It's been a great week. If you live long enough and do
Oh,
it right, you too can have a blessed life.
amen. That's right. But you got to do the right things. You got to make the right moves so that you can put yourself in the position to do stuff like that, like you're talking
Now,
about.
now I hear that you had my son on here the other day.
Yes, we did.
That's quite
Yes,
exciting. How'd he do?
yeah. He came on last week, and we met. We actually connected through WealthCon. I was able to meet with your daughter McKenna,
Mhm.
and I told her what I was into. I told her I was in the free space in the NFTs, and she was like, "Oh man, I gotta connect you with my brother, Riley, Riker
Thank you.
Riley." And
Right.
yeah, so we connected over a Zoom call a couple of weeks ago, and he's got some good stuff cooking. So I think we'll be doing some work together here in the future. We're going to talk more next week, but
I
he's definitely
love
got
it.
some
Do you know
good
who just
stuff.
joined us? One of my dear friends just joined us, a guy named Luke Baker. Luke is out there and somewhere in Dubai, Saudi Arabia. He's one of the fittest men I've ever met. I don't know if you know about my fitness product called Spin Gym, but I hired him years and
Yes.
years ago. And that was a funny moment, Luke. I'm going to give you a little shout out. He showed me a picture of him. He was shredded. He had like these abs that you could poke your hands into. And I thought, there's no way that this guy's going to show up looking like this. And he shows up. We meet in the hotel over in London. He's wearing a sweatshirt. I'm like, this guy's so full of it. He takes off his shirt, and oh my God,
Yeah.
Mr. Luke Baker, I'm going to send you some love because you not only walk the walk, but are super. There's abs on that picture. Insanely fit, and now he's just crushing it around the world. And I love you, and I want to say hi.
Shout out to Luke Baker. He must be doing something right.
he's doing everything right. He loves nutrition. I think that he is a vegan or certainly vegetarian, but he is, we had a chance to work out in the gym, and he was like, oh, I'm just going to do a light workout. His light workout is what most people do if they have every workout in their life all combined into one day.
Wow.
And yeah, I learned a lot from him. And now, of course, I'm married to a bodybuilder, so I understand what that kind of commitment it takes to do this right. So let's say hi. Let's talk about you met me at WealthCon. You heard me speak on stage. How'd I do?
Oh, Dr. Raleigh, you did phenomenal. You really, you just knocked it out with your charisma, with the value that you were. I mean, you were just spitting so much game. As a in the consulting space myself, you had me change up my whole strategy with those three.
Well, tell me about that.
Yeah, when you came out with the power of the yes, that
so all right, so let's play a game.
Groundbreaking for
All right, so let's play a game. Somebody comes up to you at a party and says, "Hey, what do you do?" What do you tell them?
Yeah, I tell them that I'm a NFT consultant.
And they probably go, "That's nice. Good for you." How about we work on getting a yes?
Yeah, let's.
Why do I? No, but this is, guys. If you're serious, there's a whole bunch of you on here. Why do I care if you're an NFT consultant? What does it have to do with my life? I asked you the question. You told me an answer that went nowhere. Why did you answer the question that way? Because it's what you really do, or do you want to care? You want to engage in a conversation?
That's definitely not a way to engage a conversation.
No, it's a way to stop it in a conversation. Because the truth is, I've got some NFTs. I don't really understand it. It's like, okay, so get a yes from me. Do it again.
So what do?
Here's a better question.
Do you own any NFTs?
Well, here's a better question. Hi, nice to meet you. What can you do for me?
Okay. All right. Well, what can I do for you? I can help you streamline your NFT onboarding process by incorporating it into your sales process.
So I'm going to tell you that I don't have any idea what you're talking about. I'm sure that I could use some NFTs. I could use some help in that. And how old are you?
35.
Okay, so you look 25, just so you know.
Right.
And so one of the things that I teach, and by the way, guys, if you could add this, I teach a training every Sunday for 2 hours called Pitch Secrets Masterclass. And what we do in that is we get people to articulate what they do better. So, for example, if I were you and I knew, number one of the secrets of my formula is make an assumption about who you're talking to. So you know a couple things about me. You know that I'm a little bit older. You might know that maybe she's got money. She doesn't got, based on how I look, how I show up. And you might say, hey, Forbes, you know what? I don't know if you've got NFTs or not. You know that. And don't tell me what it stands for because nobody knows what a non-fungible token is anyway. So you know what? If you're in business, it's a really cool way to up your game. And if you're open to it, I'm happy to give you a free demo. Okay, I would listen to that.
Okay.
And so Christian Hauser's in the house. Christian is one of my dear friends. Christian's over there traipsing around Europe. He's made so much money since he met me, and he's doing so well. And I love that he chimed in here. And what we're talking about, what we're on a mission to do, Julian, is to get people to communicate with each other better.
Yeah.
We don't really care what you do. We don't. We care what you can do for us. We care what, how I can help what you do, how we can intersect and dovetail. And I find that if you can do that faster, you become the nicer person in the conversation. So when you met Riker, you guys said, oh, NFT, great, I've got a podcast, want to come on? You got a yes. The next thing you know, you guys are doing something together.
Yeah.
So I think you always want to be able to do that. So last night, I went to a film festival. And do you ever watch Cobra Kai? You know what that
is? Yes, yeah.
All right. So Cobra Kai, Martin Kove is the bad guy in Cobra Kai. He plays John Kreese, the guy who owns Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
And I walk in, I have not met him, but I know that we have a lot of friends. And so I walked up to him and I said, oh my God, so nice to see you. He said, you know what, you're one of my heroes because I got mugged when I was in LA. And I spent 4 years in a dojo, kicking and punching anything I could find, and I love what you're doing for young people. I didn't tell him what I was doing. I told him what he would want to hear about what we were doing. Mm-hmm. Then the next thing I know, I put together, he's like, oh my God, so nice to meet you. And I said, we have some friends. I said, I just got cast in an action movie with Cynthia Rothrock. He's like, Cynthia, tell her I said hi. I said, I will absolutely, I text her, I'll absolutely do that. Next thing you know, we've got a great little photo together, and what a fun thing to do. So I walked up to him not saying, oh my God, I'm an actress and I'm this and I'm that and I'm had nothing to do with me. What's
Yeah.
important to the other person is what you always want to engage in first. And I will
Mm.
tell you, it will change your life, it will change your business and your relationships, and everything just changes with that.
Wow. So emphasizing on what's important to others,
To others,
to
to
the other person.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
capitalizing
I mean,
on that.
so if you ask me what I do, I'd ask what I do.
Hey, Dr. Riley, what do you do?
Tonight, I can tell you that I've grossed $2.5 billion in sales, but so what? I can tell you I've started the X Games for ESPN as a host with Stuart Scott, so what? I can tell you that I have been an actress in lots of movies. I've hosted TV series. I've done 195 infomercials, and I've grossed $2.5 billion. So what? You don't care about it, and that's nice and all, right? But
Oh
I'm
yeah.
going to tell you that I created the greatest fitness product on the planet. Do you want to see it?
Yeah.
I got it. Yes. Yes, I'm going to take it out of my pocket. I'm going to show you what a spin gym is right now because you just said yes to me. You just gave me permission to introduce what I love. No, it's the funniest thing about how that works. So rather than talk all about me, I'm going to make it all about you and say, you know what? Summer's coming. I have the coolest product right here, and I've got super sexy arms because I do this every day. And you're like, well, show
Mm.
that to me. And the next thing you know, we're doing business, right?
There it
And
is.
and that's just the craziest way when you meet somebody to instantly be engaging and to be the more listener in the conversation
Mm.
as opposed to just meeting everybody new and can't wait to dump on them all the things that you're about. Well, I do this and I do that and I graduated here. Who cares? What can you do
Right.
for me? What can I do for you?
Yeah. And so you mentioned you have a class is it every Sunday?
I do it live ever since COVID hit. COVID was really hard on my family. My husband was in a very bad motorcycle accident
Oh
January
no.
2nd, 2020. And so we were in the hospital. He spent 6 months in a wheelchair, and it was a really challenging time for us. And I kind of made a vow to myself and my daughter, and we went into business together and started an online coaching company to teach what I know. I've been doing
Right.
literally in my career, I have grossed over $2.5 billion in sales. I can pitch,
Awesome.
well, and I appreciate that. I
You
can
could
pitch anything and
sell
everything.
water. You could sell an ice to an Eskimo.
Well, funny you should say that, my friend. That's what people who have not grossed $2.5 billion say that to me my whole career. And I want to tell you that if you're someone willing to sell ice to Eskimos, you're just an idiot.
Oh
So,
yeah.
and I understand the point of it. No, but that's the truth. People think you can. Why would you want to sell ice to Eskimos? I'm going to tell you, you want to sell firewoods and blankets and a little bit of blubber from a walrus, and you can make sales. And here's what the interesting thing about that sentence means is that too often, if you've got a great idea or product, you're busy telling people what they need. Well, you're
Hmm.
an Eskimo. You need no. You need to lose weight. You need this vitamin. You need this new car. You don't need anything. Get people to want what you have, and you have a sale. Get people to want what you have, and you've got a customer. You treat them right. You've got somebody who's going to buy from you for life. See, nobody likes to be sold, but everybody's buying. Be the one that they buy from.
So what is the difference? Would you say is Dr. Riley? You said people don't want to be sold, but they want to buy. So how do
Right.
you get people? Is it the emphasizing on their wants, kind of in that initial pitch there?
Well, let's play a game. Let's try this for size. All right. So grab an item from your desk. Any item. What do you got?
Got a phone.
Phone is not my favorite one to do. Do something else other
Okay.
than a phone. I'll tell you
AirPods?
why.
How about AirPods?
Earpods. All right. You get 20 seconds. Pitch me your earpods. Go.
Dr. Riley, are you tired of having wired connections or tired of having stuff? Are you tired of, you know, tripping up your headphone wires and when you're working out and doing stuff and they fall? Are you tired of that?
Okay. No, I have over-the-ear headphones. Never ask a question you don't know the answer to.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a very different philosophy about that. I'm not going to ask you a question. I'm going to tell you. Hey, let me ask you. So, it's a funny thing about headphones. I love the ones over the ears, but they're very bulky. You can't hear something. You can't really drive a car. Everybody's got the ones with the wire. Ever trip over that and almost like either yank it out of your phone or choke yourself? That's probably happened to you. I know it's happened to me a
Oh, yeah.
bunch of
Yeah.
times. Well, I'll tell you what they just came out with. They not only came out with the coolest little earbuds so that they're Bluetooth. Nobody even knows you have them in, which is great because during some of my boring phone calls, I like to listen to music. No, I'm just kidding. I don't really do that. Here's the thing. There's a new technology. Even if you've had the little earbuds that stick in your ears, they pop out once in a while, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's this new kind of like a Post-it material. You put it in there, and it stays put, and it's the most comfortable thing ever. Would you like to try these?
Sure.
Why?
Well, because it sounds good, because everything that you said is
Right, because
applicable.
I just hit the 4 pain points. I just made an assumption about you and me that we
Mhm.
probably use earphones, right? That we probably have had the one over the ears that you can't hear anything else. You probably had an ear one pop out, so I didn't have to ask you if you were tired of that. I'm going to tell you because I know. Now, how do
Mm.
I know? Because one of the things in my formula is to make an assumption. I can look at you. I can see that you're young, you're bright-eyed, you're organized, you're very neat, aren't you?
I am.
Are you a Virgo, by the way?
No, no.
What are you?
Aries.
All right, which means you just had a birthday. So I'm a Taurus. If that was my bookshelf, it'd be all messy because I'm like a bull in a china shop. But you've got some Virgo in you because you are organized, my friend. There's a color-coded neatness to you, isn't there?
Yeah,
That's an
a
important
little
value
bit.
to you.
I got some help from the wife. She helps out.
All right, but you have an appreciation for that as well.
Definitely.
Now I know another assumption. You've got a wife. Isn't that interesting? I see. I just found out something about you that I would also use. Going, hey, one of the cool things is you got a birthday coming up for your wife. What do you get the woman who has everything? So
Mm.
it's a funny way when you live in this world of pitching that you understand. I've got these cool earphones. I'm not going to ask you a question, and I'm not going to tell you. Another less experienced person might say, you need these. You need them because earphones are clunky and big, and these are the best. I don't want
True.
that, but you were ready to say yes to me because I hit on pain points. I didn't even talk about the earbuds. I talked about
Pain
all the
points.
problems, all the things that you want. And I'll tell you what, it's the same thing with this product, right? I'm not going to tell you that this is the world's greatest fitness product and that I'm in the National Fitness Hall of Fame. I don't need to do that. What I need to do is, Julian, pick up your arm for a second like this. Will you touch the bottom of your arm with the other hand? Is it nice and hard? Is it good? Is it nice and tight?
Yeah, nice and tight.
You could use a little bit, but you're married to a woman. If I asked her to do the same thing, would she agree with you that hers is nice and tight?
Eh, not too
Right.
much.
Well, we won't say anything to her, but here's the deal. I have turned a certain age. I'm over 60, and I've got super tight arms because I do this for 5 minutes a day, every single day. If your wife has got 5 minutes every single day, loves the color pink, and wants to look rocking in a bathing suit this summer, I got a present for her.
Okay.
Do you
The
want it?
spin.
It's called the
Yeah.
spin zone. So here's what's interesting is you got a feeling inside of you that you want this, don't you?
Mm. It makes sense. Well, I'm all about efficiency and productivity in it, so it's just like a win-win right there.
Well, that's what it is. Here's the thing. If you, like you said, people buy every day. Nobody walks up to the grocery counter. You know when you check out with your groceries? And
Yeah.
the sales girl, the checkout girl, she doesn't have to say to you, do you really want to buy eggs? Are you sure you want that milk? Do you want that? She doesn't have to do that. You're there to buy something. And she's just there to ring it up. That's
Right.
how I view this. I've got things that you want. You're going to find it. You're going to come to me and you're going to give me money because you want it. I don't have to sell
Right.
you on something you already want. The chicken
Ah.
is not sitting there in the egg department going, buy my eggs, buy my eggs. You know you want that. And the other thing is the grocery store is so smart that they know that most people go to a grocery store to buy eggs and milk, right?
Yep.
So where do they put it? They don't put it up at the front where it's easy to buy. They put it way in the back. So you have to walk through all their other food that you're now kind of tempted because nobody leaves with eggs and milk. Not in a big grocery store. Oh, I should get this or I should buy that or that's on sale. Next thing you know, you've got $100 worth of groceries. You didn't even know you wanted them, but they subliminally made you want it.
That's true. That is very true. And on the way, you start picking up all these other things that you never were planning on purchasing.
But they know that. And that is why a store is designed that way. And so as an entrepreneur, I don't want you to keep guessing about what your customer wants. You profile your customers, you understand, and I have a 5-step formula that I will teach you this Sunday. And why do I do it every Sunday? And by the way, I charge for it. I charge $19.
Oh, that's a
Now you'd say,
steal.
that it is a steal. Well, I'll tell you something. I gave it away for free at WealthCon, and hardly anybody showed up. I should have sold it because when you sell it for $19, everybody shows up.
That's one thing I've
Kind of
learned.
crazy.
When you give stuff away for free, there's just no appreciation. It seems like there's a connection between cost and value, right?
Oh, absolutely. There's a funny thing about money. I have a weight loss program that goes along with this. I have the best, most amazing, efficient weight loss program that is guaranteed 100%. You want to hear it?
Let's hear it.
All right. So I have people come to me, and we all agree that you could lose 10 pounds in a month. Do you agree that if you've got 10 pounds to lose, you could lose it in a month?
I could probably use 10 pounds, but yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not for everybody, but you don't look like, but most people who have got a 30, 40, they could probably lose 10 in a month, right?
Yeah.
So here's what I do. I'm saying I'm going to guarantee this. Here's what you're going to do for me. You're going to write me a $5,000 check. I'm going to take that check and stick it in my bank account, and I've got some pretty good interest. I've got 4% a week interest compound, so I'm going to make you some money here.
Wow.
If you don't lose the 10 pounds, I keep the money. I keep all of it. If you lose the 10 pounds that you said you wanted to lose, I'll give you all the money back plus the interest. Now, do you know that I've never made $5,000 on any one of my clients? Now, why is that? Because they didn't wake up the next morning and go, I want to do that, but I really want the donut. I'm thinking, no. They woke up and go, dang, I'm not having that donut. That's $5,000 donut. I'm not eating that donut. I'm not. And all of a sudden, they are so on it every day for that entire month because they don't want to lose the money. So what does that mean? That means if you give people what they want, they'll give you what you want. If you have consequences, then you're liable to not procrastinate. There's all kind of tricks that you can play to get what you want in life. And most people have never read the book of tricks.
Fix.
Tricks. No, tricks. Just a book of tricks. I got some tricks for you.
Okay.
I grew up, my dad was a magician. I told you that in the speech. And I learned a lot by his magic tricks. One, I learned that begin with the end in mind. If you want someone to say yes, ask a question that you know ends in a yes.
Right.
So, for example, are you having fun on this interview?
I am.
There you go. That's a yes. Do you think that we can make an impact on the people listening?
Absolutely.
You think your wife loves you?
Definitely.
You know, I get 3 yeses in any conversation. I can get a credit card anytime I want.
My God, there it is. 3 yeses.
3 yeses. It's real, but it's a little more interesting than that. But because now you're engaged in what we're talking about, you're shaking your head. I see that you're like, yeah, I like her. I'm here to listen. I want to learn. As soon as you do that, most people, did you notice a lot of the speeches that we saw at that event? People were just talking. They were just rambling. They had great information, but information doesn't really make you rich and thin. It just gives you more information.
Right, not transformation.
There you go. Very nicely put.
Information is not transformation.
There you go. I love this. And I'm
information applied is transformation, right?
Sometimes, not guaranteed. It sometimes takes a lot for people to transform. And also, I'm a big believer in my trainings. What we do for 2 hours is that we really get down to what do you want. So I'll ask you, Mr. Julian, what do you want?
Freedom.
I don't see shackles on you. Did your wife tie you to that desk?
No.
So that isn't what you want. You don't want freedom. You want something specific. What do you want?
Yeah, well, just the freedom to be able to go to and fro wherever I need to go without...
But then I would ask you, and this is a game that I play for real, what's keeping you from not being able to do that?
A few things, like I still actually have a job and a career, so that's keeping me free.
But that's not what keeps you. Money is keeping you tied to that. You're telling me I don't make enough money. All right. So you don't want freedom. You want money.
Yes, correct.
Oh, but you didn't say that. How much money do you want?
Oh, well, I got a number. I'm looking for as far as what I'm trying to make passively through our real estate.
Let me tell you something. That now is not the time to be shy. Do you want $10,000 a month? You want $50,000 a month? Pick a number.
20K.
All right, so 20K would, if you had 20K every month, it would allow you to go off and not have to do a JOB anymore. Is that correct?
That's correct.
But now it's something. Now that's a very interesting number. How are you going to get that?
Working towards it through what I got going on with my consulting agency and through real estate. That's kind of, and the NFTs. All of it's kind of just pouring into my real estate.
All right, so here's my thought. Stop saying the word kinda. Be very
Okay.
intentional about what you're saying. Forbes, I have a plan in the system. I am doing an NFT deal. I'm working on my real estate, and by X date, I should have that money. Do you feel a very
Okay.
different sense of confidence in the way I'm saying it? It's not kinda.
Yeah.
That's what we're working towards. It's a math equation. And if you don't view it that way, then it's an emotional thing, and money's not emotional.
Mm.
I'm going to make this by doing this. If that doesn't work, I'll do something else. But the goal is to make that.
Right.
And then when you make it, you don't want freedom. That's not what you want. You want to travel to a place with your wife and not have to worry about the cost of the hotel. That's what you want.
There it is.
And
Yeah. I
all of a
want to be
sudden, when
a.
you start,
Yeah. I just
I'm
want.
sorry?
I want to be a resource to others.
You want to be a resource for
Yeah.
others. Yeah, there's lots of resources for others. Be way more specific.
Well, I mean, so specifically, I'm actually a minister. So when I'm not doing business stuff, what I'm doing is helping people understand their purpose, their worth, introducing them to Jesus, all that kind of stuff, and letting them know that there's more to life than whatever that's bogging them down, whether it's
And why is that important?
addiction, the what?
And why is that important to you?
Because, that's what I came out of. I came out of a dark place. I mean, I'm grateful for where I am now, but it
All
wasn't
right,
always that way.
but hang on. If you really want what you want in my world, can I help you clean up your languaging a little bit?
Yes,
You said the word you know or the phrase you know like 3 times. The truth is, I don't know. I have no idea, so stop saying that.
true.
The second thing is, if you're telling me you come from a dark place, we all came from a dark place. I came out of my mother's womb. It was so dark. Oh, you're not talking about that, are you?
No.
What are you talking about?
Well, I'm talking about a place of like very deep depression.
Okay, it's not like deep depression. You came from a place of deep depression. Okay.
Yeah.
Why? What? Hello, Mr. Peter Estevez. One of my dearest friends is watching us. You want a connection? That man is it. So you're
All
telling me you
right.
came out of a deep depression. What were you depressed about?
Actually,
No, I
I
don't
was,
know. I don't know.
okay. You don't know. You don't know. I can confidently say I was depressed about purpose, about my
Okay.
purpose in life. Because at that point, I was working very hard. I was in college. I got my degree
So
in
that's your
computer
fourth you
engineering.
know. Now, Julian, we're going to teach you to be a better storyteller. You want to get what you want. Make the story that you're about to tell me not about you. Use your words to impress upon me a life lesson. So, Forbes, I ended up depressed because fill in the blank.
So Forbes, I ended up depressed because I didn't know what my purpose was.
And now, who says you're supposed to have a purpose in the first place?
Well, I know that everything that exists has purpose
How do you know that?
because everything that was created on purpose for a purpose.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. I mean, everything, the phone, the chair. Can you think of anything that exists that doesn't have purpose?
Humans, but that's just me. All right, so let me ask you a question. I'm just playing, and I'm playing with you, and I'm asking you these things for a reason. What does your dad do?
He's a investor.
Okay. And what's your first memory in life?
First memory in life.
Yeah.
When I asked my grandmother for tea.
How old were you?
I was about maybe 3 or 4.
Okay. What did she say?
She was very excited to make me some tea because she loves tea in the early morning.
All right. So now you got this little kid. Let me play a little game with you. What do you think, and you know the answer, what do you think your first decision about life was based on that moment?
That I wanted some tea.
Nope, that's not it. A decision about life. If you're a little kid and you touch fire, you know you're not touching that again because that's hot and that can hurt you.
Right.
What decision did you make about asking your grandma? And I'll show you why this is really important.
I knew that my grandma could get me what I wanted.
I think it's that you knew you liked to make people happy.
I do.
And I think that's part of who you are. And part of one of your first memories is that I really get off and enjoy, because I don't think most kids want tea, but I think you knew your grandmother would get a kick out of that, and you want to develop a relationship with her, yeah?
No, maybe a little 50-50.
Okay.
I actually
Come
do.
on.
I do enjoy tea.
Well, it's not about the tea, though. How you're 35 years old and you have a memory about that 32 years ago. There's a bigger reason that you remember it. Had nothing to do with tea.
Okay, tell me. What was
Well,
it?
where was your mom and dad at the time?
They were home.
Okay, but you're hanging out with your grandma. Now, you could have said any memory that you want. Why do you think you chose that memory?
Because it really was the earliest memory that I can think of on the spot.
No, but there's a reason that I don't know what I had for dinner 3 weeks ago, and you're remembering a memory 32 years ago. Julian, trust me, there's a bigger reason that you remember that moment. What is it?
Man, all right. Okay, let's see. I'm
Come
maybe
on.
my grandmother's really special.
Your grandmother was special, but I think this little boy likes to make people happy.
Okay.
I think that's part of why you're a pastor. And I think that's why you do what you do with the smile on your face, is that you love doing that, which, by the way, can be a good thing and a bad thing.
True.
All right, so why is that true? Now I hit a nerve. Keep going.
Well, because I know that you can't make everybody happy.
Yeah, but you're trying really hard, aren't you?
Well, my philosophy is if you want to make everybody happy, sell ice cream. But, when it comes to helping people, I do it up to the point of compromise. Once I have to compromise who I am or my values, that's as far as I'll go to help a person.
What happened? You're about 7 years old. Something negative happened to you. What was it?
At that point,
Yeah, somewhere around 7 or 8 years old. Think about it.
well,
Or something bad happened.
actually around that time, my brother nearly drowned.
Okay. How old were you?
Actually around that age.
All right. And it was pretty traumatic for you?
Oh yeah, no, because I ended up being grounded for the whole summer.
Oh, was it your fault that he almost drowned?
Yeah, unfortunately.
All right.
We were
What
doing
decision
what
did you make about, hang on, what decision at that moment did you make about life?
not because we were in a place that we were not supposed to be. We were in a neighborhood further, like outside of the bounds that we should have been going to,
Right.
and because of that, it was a whole scare. And now I'm like, even to this day, I don't. When it comes to rules, I follow them.
All right, so that's interesting. By the way, say hi to Mr. John Lee, one of the most amazing
Hey,
entrepreneurs is
John.
watching you right now, just so you know. And I'm going to see John this weekend as we're both on www.realsummits.com. Here's what's
Nice.
interesting about you, Mr. Julian. You say that you want to be successful and you're in a job, and you know why? Because of two things. One, you enjoy making people happy, and two, you're scared to break the rules. And you're a little hamstrung about playing safe because of this traumatic thing. When you're 7 years old, if something like that happens, it sticks. And it sticks in the fabric of your being. That I don't want to push the envelope because somebody could get hurt. And even though you're not conscious of it, you are right now, by the way, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a different energy. And I'm going to tell you that if you say to yourself, you know what, I don't have to play this small because I'm not 7, and rules might be made to be broken, and I've got a bigger path in life. And I think for you, if that becomes a bit of your mantra, a bit of what you're focused on, you will get more of what you say you want.
Mm,
Does that
okay.
resonate?
That makes sense. I hear what you're saying.
It's a very unique way to look at life outside of, this is what I love doing. You know, when it comes to coaching, and I know Christian's on this call right now, and he's seen me do this a lot, is that I don't advertise this part of my work. But I'm going to tell you that unless entrepreneurs can get clear from their past of the person who bullied them, I had a whole class today who had a tough time saying something positive about themselves. They were saying, I'm a loser, I am this, I'm not enough. I said, where did all that come from? It comes from school, it comes from being bullied, it comes from a mom who said something or a dad who put you down. And you spend your whole life working to unravel this, but it's not really yours in the first place.
Yeah.
But it's sabotaging your greatness.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Wow.
We don't want anything sabotaging your greatness.
No.
Is your
So,
brother okay?
so
Is your brother okay today?
Oh yeah, no, he's doing great.
Then you need to know that every time you go down a road by playing safe, going, you know what? My brother's fine. I can go down this road.
I hear you. That's good. So what you're saying is we can't be too afraid to take risks, or because
Well,
of
let me
things in
share
the
something with you.
past.
That's what I'm saying for you. That's not my issue. I've always been a risk taker. I live out on a limb somewhere because I don't have the same code in my brain that you do. So here's the deal. We all get a laptop at birth, right? We're all given this brain that you can program. You can put in any programs that you want. You can mess around with it. You can soup it up. But here's the problem. If you download some piece of corrupted code onto your laptop, what happens?
Oh,
It doesn't work
yeah.
very good.
No,
No,
yeah.
it doesn't. And you got to wipe the hard drive, and that's what we're doing here. We're looking at some code in your head
Mm.
that said, don't take risks, play it smaller, stay in the job, be secure. And I know I can hear this in you, that you don't want to do that. You see other people doing it. You know you're better than that. But something in your code is like, oh, God, when I did that as a kid, it didn't work out so good, did it? My advice is let's work on getting rid of that code. And you can do that in minutes. You don't have to spend years in therapy. I get rid of things in 20 minutes.
You bring up a good point, Dr. Riley, because I think our education system might be the culprit there, because we are groomed. If you think about it, we're groomed to be workers for companies. We're groomed not to step out as entrepreneurs. We're groomed to be a part of the system. So it's almost like we're indoctrinated from an early age, and thinking as an entrepreneur is a foreign mindset to those who with traditional education. What do you think about that?
That's why there's only a few of us out here. You're absolutely trained to be a worker. That's what we do. We need as a society. We absolutely do that. I remember when my daughter was about 14 years old, I got called in to her school. They said that she was being disruptive. And I said, okay, what's going on? They said, well, we're all doing resumes in tech class, and she refuses to do that because she keeps telling us that she doesn't need a job. We know that she does. And I sat down with this woman across the table. I'm saying, wait, so you're telling me that you're upset because my daughter's not making a resume because she doesn't want to get a job? She's like, yeah, everybody needs a job. I said, no, they don't. I said, they do not need a job. No, they do. I said, no, they don't. Now listen to me for a second. How much money do you make at your job? I'm doing this in front of my daughter, who knows that her mom is going to defend her. And I said, how much money are you making at your job? And she got all offended. I said, let me tell you. You're probably making $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 at the most at this job. Am I correct? And she kind of looked at me. I said, that little girl is already on the internet for the last 2 years. She's already made $60,000 in a month. Why would she want your job that you don't make it in a year? And the woman looked at me. She's like, I don't understand what you're talking about. I said, that's good. You keep working for her because she's going to own this school or this company. And by the time that girl was 17, she had $1 million in her company. She's now 20 years old, and she's approaching $4 million, and she owns her own company with a whole bunch of employees, thousands of students, teaching her own program called GSD. And I will tell you, I helped groom that little girl because she doesn't live the same way you do. I taught her at an early age that school will teach you how to do calculus and math and English and some stupid social skills. Go for the ride, but she's not going to college. There is absolutely no way, even though I saved money for her. She's got a couple $100,000 sitting in school. We have to figure out what to do with that money because it's not going to a college institution for people to train her to own a company, though they've never owned a company. Teach her economics or business from people who've never owned a business. Or we have got marketing interns who work for us, graduate interns of the colleges she wanted to go to, who have no idea what she does, don't know what ClickFunnels or how to do a Kajabi course or do any of the things that this girl has mastered. Why would I pay a couple $100,000 to an institution? And how do I know that? I graduated with 2 degrees. I work with college graduates all the time. They would be better off in the old days going there and becoming an apprentice, learning from people who already know what they're doing, taking some of these amazing courses online. I want to go to Wharton School of Business or Harvard. I can do it online pretty much for free right now.
True.
So you're going, hell, so I want to go to a dinosaur to learn how to run a race. Well, I got to tell you, the dinosaurs died a long time ago. You just don't know it yet.
Oh, wow. That's so good, so true, because that's the situation that I find myself in. I'm even unlearning a lot of things, and I sign up for different courses and watch different things on YouTube, because by trade I'm a software engineer, but operating as a business entrepreneur, this for the last couple of years I've really had to learn how to do things differently. And so exposing myself to the kind of things you're talking about, different courses, investing in mentorship and other people that are doing the stuff that I want to be doing.
Done it. Learn what they've done and do that for a little while. I will tell you, it's a smarter way to get ahead in life. Now, is this for everybody? No. In fact, I was saying that today. Being an entrepreneur sucks. Let me share with you, it freaking sucks. You not only have to create, you gotta go out to a field and pave your own road. Well, that's a whole lot of freaking work. And not only pave it, but you gotta find the gravel and you gotta put it down and you gotta make sure the temperature. You gotta learn a whole lot of things. It's a lot easier to go to work for somebody else. So maybe you do that for a little while. And the other thing too, my entire career, and I've grossed over $2.5 billion in my career, guys. Here's the thing. I didn't even have a product. I never had a product, and I was so much happier not having products. I had a skill. My skill was being able to pitch and sell whatever you brought me. I would rather pitch your product, you carry the inventory, you do the customer service, you get the loan from the bank. I'm going to show up, do my thing, go home, and you're going to send me checks over and over and over again. I liked my job. And then like every entrepreneur does, but I want my own product. Now I've got my own product and I've got inventory. And by the way, yes, you are your own product. I have a training I do right now called Next Level. One of the things about Next Level is how do you create a personal brand for yourself? Because in today's day and age, my friend, the only thing that you really own, the only thing you really have, because you can get fired from your job tomorrow, you have your brand, you have who you are, how you show up, you have your social media. But if I go to most people's social media, it is just, I don't even know what it is. Humans, we've been so conditioned to believe what we are told. So we go to school and we believe, like you said, that school is right. School is school, okay?
Yeah.
You go there to learn what they want to teach you, right? Then somehow this thing called Facebook came along, and they said there's a Facebook personal page. So we encourage you to put all your personal stuff up there. We have the right to take all that information, do what we want with it, but it's your personal page. I'm going to tell you something. It's not a personal page. It's a public page because I can find it. You want a personal page, a place to put your family and your dog and your kids? Open up a Facebook group, a private group, and only give your friends that link. If you're in the public eye, you want to be engaging. You want to I teach that your Facebook page is a gateway to the world. You land on my page and you're going to go, damn, who is this girl? I want to know more. And you make it available how to find out more. And you understand the philosophy of a sales funnel and engagement. And it's such a different philosophy. So here's my big advice. Don't believe what you read. Don't believe what you hear. Take your own sensibility, your own filter. Figure out why you want to learn what you do, what you're doing in life. Like I did with Julian. What do you want? Because if you want freedom, if you want financial freedom, go get a cardboard box and live under a bridge. You are financially free. There's no light bill, no phone bill. You may be broke, but you're free. That's not what you want, right?
Yeah.
So you have to decide what you want, what you're willing to do to go get it. So now, what is it you want?
I want to be able to fulfill my God-given purpose without the constraint of a full-time career kind of job.
That's nice. That's not what you want. We got to work on your mission statement, man.
Yeah.
I think what you want is to show how somebody who had everything, had a good life, still slipped into a depression about finding purpose. And if I can help illuminate that for other kids so they don't commit suicide, other people so they find a correct path in life, then that is my purpose.
Helping others.
There you go.
Is that
How much should we pay for a mentor? You know, one of your guys, Love Amito, writes, how much should we pay for a mentor? You should pay a mentor what you think you're going to achieve. So if you're going to come to me, you should pay me $1 million because I'm going to make you $1 million. Now, is that feasible? No. So if I told you that I could make you $1 million and I asked for 10,000, would you do it? Here's the thing about that question. If you're asking how much should I pay for a mentor, you're asking the wrong question. Because it's not how much do you pay for something. It's what are you missing out by not affording to pay for something. What event did you not go to? What platform did you not get to? When some of the big, beautiful trainers that I won't mention their names, we all know these big people. When I was starting out, they were charging $25,000, $50,000, and I thought, man, that's just too much. But you know what happened? Those same people who had a $25,000 mastermind, everybody in my class that I decided I wasn't going to do that because I come from some money issues, they're all multimillionaires. They are all a very tight-knit group of amazing, successful, and I wish I'd taken that money back then and parlayed it. So it's not what can I afford, it's what can't I afford to miss.
There it is. It's not what you can afford. It's what can you not afford to miss. That's gold. That's gold. And, opportunities and, something I say a lot is your network is your net worth. And when you're in the right rooms, when you're in the right environments, then, man, you just open up to things that...
The answer is yes and no. You can be in those rooms and still be a complete no, because you haven't figured out your brand. You don't know what you want. You don't know how to communicate to others. You gotta, before you get in those rooms, I would come for $19. That's how much this is worth. I'd come to my pitch class this Sunday, and I'll tell you why. Because when you can articulate who and what you are in just a handshake, I'll show you something. Way back when I was on a stage, Grant Cardone was just starting out. He and I were both on this stage together. He didn't end up going to the event, and I wanted to meet him like 7 years ago before anybody knew who he was. And I'm in Las Vegas, and I see him and his wife and a couple of people all walking way down a hallway towards me. What would you do at that moment, Julian? What would you walk up to him and say?
Whew. If you were starting over today, what are 3 things you'd do?
Now, Julian, are you serious? You're thinking that a guy in a hallway who's worth a lot of money is going to tell you for free the 3 things that he would do? That's a nice question. There's no way in hell he's going to answer it. Why would he? There's nothing in it for him. And this is what I teach on Sunday. Julian, don't get me wrong, and I don't mean to embarrass you at all, but that sucked. If you walked up to me and asked me that, I'm not telling you. Because here's what you did. It's a beautiful, thought-out question, but it isn't what he wants. So here's the deal. Yes, Kelly, I'm doing it every week until I don't want to do it anymore. So if you can't make this Sunday, reach out to me and I'll get you a recording. Here's the deal. I walked up to not him. I walked up to his wife. And you know why, Julian? Because I teach pitching for a living. I am always thinking about what is it they want. I walked right up to Elena, who I knew. I did the research on her. Number 1, do your research. Number 2, create a strategy. And I said to her, look, I don't know if you know who I am. I've hosted 195 infomercials and grossed $2.5 billion. I made Jack and Elaine. I work with Kevin Harrington, some of the people that your husband would love to know. Let's make him another $1 billion by getting him on an infomercial. She said to Grant, you need to meet her. Dude, what did I just do? I said, you need to meet her? That's the best introduction ever. That was 30 seconds. I walked up and shook Grant's hand. I said, don't know if you know me, but I've grossed $2.5 billion in infomercials with people like Jack Elaine and Kevin Harrington. He's like, I know you. I said, how about we make an infomercial for you and put you on the map for real? He's like, girl, come to I got a party happening on Sunday. You got to be there. Within 6 weeks of knowing that man, I'm one of the only female speakers he put on his TEDx stage. And I walked out, Julie, in front of 10,000 people who'd all come for Grant at TEDx. And it was a life-changing moment because I didn't think to ask him what he would have. I didn't ask him any questions at all. I told him what I could do for him. And that's what everybody wants. What can you do for me?
Wow.
Keep that in the back of your mind when you're meeting somebody. Please do not come up to me and go, can I take you to lunch and pick your brain? I'm like, girlfriend, that lunch is going to cost you $10,000 because I'm a very expensive eater and I don't want my brain picked. But do you see
Wow.
how interesting it is from the other side?
No, yeah. That's so emphasizing and concentrating on what is important to them, how, like, why they should care to even continue talking to you.
Right. Now, the next thing is you guys are going to walk away, all everyone except Chris, who's taken all my classes. He just said she Forbesed it. Forbes it means to manifest something, especially when no one else thinks it's possible. Julian, you Forbes this conversation. I have not given a podcast to anybody else at WealthCon. You're it so far. So here, and I did it because you helped my son, which I just love. So here's the thing. You all going to leave this going, oh my God, I learned so much. And you're going to say the same stupid things you always say. And forgive me for this, I've watched it, I know it's true. If you do not practice the art of pitching, if you do not understand, hey, Amy Zeal, big hug to you, my girl. I know all my students. I know all 16,000 of my students. I have a crazy photographic memory. I know that Amy is an actress. I know that she's been on at my party 2 years ago. I never forget you. So if you said, Forbes, I want to know how to get close to you, come take a class with me. I know that sounds crazy, but that is the way to do it. I set up a system so you could, if you're willing to invest a little to get a lot, start on Sunday, or just reach out to me on social media and go, hey, what are you doing? How can I come and be a part of your world? We have the most amazing community going. We are a community of loving women and men who interact, who up-level, who uplift, to empower each other, to enlighten them to wherever they get to go. I don't know many teachers who have that philosophy. I don't know many teachers who have this heart, because I'm not doing this for the money. I've got lots and lots of money. So what am I doing it for? I am doing it to get the video that says, Forbes, you changed my life. Somebody just said sign up for Media Mastery. Let me tell you, Media Mastery is 3 weeks with me. Me and only 19 other people in the room besides you. Why do I do that? Why don't I charge $50,000? Because I don't have to. I don't have to right now. I don't want that from my daughter came on today. My daughter taught a class called GSD, how to get your ebook and your online course done in minutes. And you know what she said? She said, I teach all this stuff. I could charge thousands. It could easily, everyone wants to charge 5,000, whatever. She charges, how much she charges for her class? She charges $100.
Wow.
$100 for 2 times free and all the training. You get an ebook. Why? Because she doesn't need the money. She made $4 million. She's good. So why wouldn't you want to learn from people who are here to really work with you? And I'm going to tell you something. We're going to go down as a company who cares in a way that nobody else does. I believe most people just want to take your money. And the other thing, and this is what she said, which really just got me. Most people will teach you almost everything, confuse you, excite you, and then want to sell you another $20,000 program because they didn't tell you everything. In our world, we teach you everything. Go, little one, go do it. Go show me that you're brilliant. I want a group. I want to have my next event knowing that everybody there made 6 figures. Oh my God. I want to know that everybody there is a millionaire. You don't get in unless you've made $1 million. So get busy. You don't have the right to come along with us until you've done the work, because I'll tell you what, she and I have come to a point in our careers now, after 3 years of doing this day in and day out, where we worked 18-hour days to put some of this together, to say, look, if you just show up to kind of hang out and suck the life out of the room or not do the work, you need to go and then come back when you're ready to play big. I don't want to hear that you're, oh, my mother beat me when I was 2 and I just can't, I procrastinate. I'm going to do some exercises to help you, but at the end of the day, I'm going to go, I don't know what that word means. I don't know what procrastinate means. Procrastinate means that you don't have your priorities in order, and stop lying. Stop lying saying you want to lose weight and go eat the donut. Stop lying that you want an online course and you're going out drinking beer all weekend. Stop telling me you want to go left and you go right every chance you get. I don't need that in my life. I got people who are moving mountains, freaking moving mountains. So if you're willing to lie to yourself, you lie to me, I don't want your money. I'm not interested, because I don't, you know what I can't get back, Julian? I can't get back my time. So in our world, we now have a vetting process. I just want to say we're going to keep our doors closed unless you can prove to me that your integrity, your determination is worth my time. I don't want to work with you. Woo!
Wow. Wow. That's that's precious. That's not something you hear all the time from somebody from your kind of caliber, your kind of experience, your kind of success. You really just want to see people win. Is that, we talk about, our whys. Is this, like I have my why is to, make Jesus famous. What's your why?
Well, I don't know about making Jesus famous. I think Jesus is pretty famous, and you might want to think about that for a second. And don't get me wrong. By the way, his dad was a best-selling author, so he had a leg up. I think it's some nepotism going on there. Just saying. Here's what I want. You know what I want? I want my life to matter. I want to know at the end of it that I have a whole people around the world. Right now, I just got off the phone a couple of days ago with a group of men and women out in Lesotho, South Africa. You've never heard of it. It's a tiny little country right in South Africa, and I'll tell you what. They don't care who I am. They don't care who you are. What they care is they've been raped as little girls. They have been human trafficked. Some of them have been in jail in countries they didn't even know they ended up in, how they got there. And they don't think anybody cares. So I got on the phone and I spent an hour and a half talking to everybody there. And then my birthday party on Wednesday night, we did a fundraiser. We raised $6,000, $6,000 more than they had before. Just in little pieces, because I didn't want a whole lot of money from people, but everybody gave a little something, and I'll tell you what. I get to hand that to them, and you know what that means to them? There's hope now. Does my life matter more, Julian, after I hand them that check? Damn right it does.
Yeah.
They're just going to say thank you. I don't want anything back from it, except I want to help other little girls and save some orphan kids because their parents have been killed because of greed and stupidity and lies. That's not the world I want to live in. I want to live in a world where you're not hungry. We have so much freaking food in this world, and people are hungry in this country every day. People get raped every day. Somebody in Texas said, I'm going to work to putting an end to rape. But you are not. You can't be in every... No, you're not. But what you can do is you can teach little girls and boys to do martial arts, so if someone attacks them, they have the courage to poke out an eye or jab a leg or kick them in the groin or whatever they need to do, not because they were taught from a book, but because they had a chance to practice some self-defense. I got mugged when I was in my 30s, and I will tell you what. I'm standing there in the street, and these teenagers came, and it was horrible. And I'm thinking in the back of my head, you should kick them in the groin. Well, as I went to do that, they punched me. I peed all over myself. It freaked out. It hurt like I'd never been punched before. And I'll tell you what, I didn't know what to do. Next day, I ended up in a self-defense class in North Hollywood. And every day for 4 years, I was in the self-defense class, punching and kicking I could, because no one was going to do that to me again. And then I went on for the next couple of years, and I did Aikido and Wing Chun. I don't know why everybody doesn't know how to defend themselves. Why don't I can meet 100 people on the street, not one of them knows how to deflect a punch, how to twist somebody's... You don't have to be strong or big to bend somebody's wrist so that they give, that they can't take the pain anymore. We're not teaching kids this. Let's teach kids this. And I'll tell you what, it is so vitally important to teach little girls to defend themselves, that you can take a fork and stab somebody for real. And unless you practice it, when you get in that situation, you won't do it. Because being frightened is really challenging and really hard. So I would like to, with the movie that I'm doing, it's a martial arts movie, with the conversation that I'm having, that is because the guy in South Africa, when I asked him, he's the president of this house, I said, what do you want? And Julian, he said, I want to stop human trafficking. And I said, then I cannot help you. He said, what do you mean? I said, I can't help you because that's not realistic. You and I and 100 people or 100,000 cannot stop human trafficking. You know why? Because it's a one-to-one thing behind closed doors. It's a little girl or boy that goes missing. It is. You don't know. You don't see it. You cannot stop it. But what you can do is you can arm people to defend themselves against it. You can educate them that it's happening. The guy next door who is a serial rapist, who is on the list, you might want to watch him. You might want to be aware. When you're a martial artist, you walk to your car from the grocery store different. You're looking over your shoulder. You see somebody just standing there with his hands in his pants, looking at people walk by, and you know there's something wrong because you're looking for it. If you've not studied self-defense, you don't even know it exists. You don't realize that there are bad people out there to hurt good people all the time. I wish I could stop it, but I can't. But what I can do is make you aware that when you leave your baby in a stroller and you turn your back, you're giving a predator an opportunity. And if somebody does something, what are you going to do about it? And don't wait till it happens to practice doing something about it. And that is now, I didn't realize that was going to be my platform, but it really, really is. And Julian, I'm a big fan of life happens for you, not to you. I love the fact that you were depressed. You know why? It fueled your fire to take action. I love the fact that some kid mugged me and hurt me, because you know what? I'll never forget what happened. I will take action to save somebody else's life, because luckily, I was only hurt so bad. After I shared my story, I heard stories, Julian, that would make your heart stop and make you want to give up on humanity. And I wouldn't have had the courage to talk about that. But it happened to me. I raised a little boy who was a lot darker than you. He was from South Central Los Angeles. I got him when he was a little brother to my ex-husband, who was his big brother. Every weekend for 12 years, Dexter was my little boy. Best man at my wedding. I only had one best man, and little Dexter was it. He was as dark as my shirt, and he did not understand white people. When we went to visit my father-in-law, who lived on a hill, he looked around. I remember he was like 9 years old. He's like, "Ooh, wow, white people live up here." And I'm like, "No, baby, rich people live up here. My father-in-law is rich, and rich is the color green. Green doesn't care if you are black, white, orange, purple, doesn't matter. I got every ethnicity up here, so don't kid yourself. It means they worked hard, or they're a basketball player, and then they worked even harder, because nobody gets given anything." And he got all those messages. You know what? He was a beautiful kid. He was never going to be an engineer, but he was a mechanic, and he respected people, and he loved me, and he loved it. And you know what? Some kid who didn't have a mentor, when he was walking from a haircut to church July 21st, walked up behind my boy and shot him 10 times in the back and left him for dead to bleed out on the sidewalk on his own, by himself. Now, why did this kid do that? Because nobody loved him. He didn't have a mentor. He already gotten 2 girls pregnant. He was already given up on. He was working on getting in a gang. Do I blame him? Not really. Not really. I blame the society that doesn't care about him. I blame the people in a gang who think that killing somebody is a rite of passage and initiation. But do I blame him? How do you blame him? Do I miss Dexter every single day? Do I hear about these school shootings and I'm like, this is getting old. This is about people who are not loved on, who are made fun of, who do not have a sense of peace, happiness, or as you like to put it, purpose. So my question to you is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to spend time being nice to a kid that you've never met, being nice to some homeless guy in the street just because? I was just in Los Angeles. Oh my God, my home for 25 years. And I'm driving down Sunset Boulevard and there's tent cities freaking everywhere. Do you know you're more likely to pick up a stray dog or a cat than you will a human? What are we doing to ourselves? Who are we listening to? What happened? What happened? Wow. So, Julian, I don't think I can fix the world, but I sure can let my voice be heard.
You know, that's so, wow, so many important and crucial things you're saying here, Dr. Riley. And yeah, the world is a dark place. And actually, it's not the world, it's the people. It's the society. It's what's accepted as our culture. It's what's, you know, even celebrated or highlighted. But I think, you know, just like you said, we can't all, nobody can change the world, but everybody can individually do their part, because we all have influence. You know, there's people that you're going to impact that I'll never meet. There'll be people that I impact that you'll never meet. And I mean, as long as everybody is doing their part, then we can see a better tomorrow. But much of what you're talking about is really the message of Jesus, of Christ, to go to those people in these dark places, whether forgotten or marginalized, and give them hope. You know, I was actually on a mission trip in South Africa a number of years ago, and we went to those areas. We went to those shanty towns that they call them, towns that are built from scrap metal. And we went and we loved on them. We shared hope with them. We shared Christ with them. Let them know that there's more for their life. And you know, that's, we didn't change all of South Africa, but we definitely impacted those lives. And I think as long as people are willing to be a part of the solution and not the problem, then we'll start seeing some real change. But you're really touching on some very, very important topics here. Very important, and this is something that many people should listen to.
Well, I appreciate that. You know, as you were listening, that I got to tell you, I do love that we can go all around the world, but I'm going to say there's a lot of things right here at home. As you were listening, as you were just talking, I think I have a new religion. It's called the Star Wars religion. I'm joking about this, but bear with me here. I think at all times there seems to be good and evil at play. I don't know why that is. And even though we are working on spreading love and helping people and doing all of this, there seems to be an evil force that you always need to be this Jedi. It seems that there is a fight. And I don't know why it is that way, but I think it will always be that way. I think there is a God and a Satan and a Darth and a whatever, a dark and a light side. Because as much as you and I are sitting here talking about love and wanting to do this, there are just as many people planning all kind of evil things. And I think you have to come to some level and go, okay, if that is the way of the world, then you have to decide what side you're on. You have to decide what you're willing to fight for. And I think you need to strap on your gear, your little lightsaber, and help whoever you can along the way. Because if you can turn anybody's frown upside down, you've done something good. And I do think that if you can't give in. I think it's a relentless fight. I wish that it wasn't that way. I wish it was a utopia, but it doesn't seem to be that way. Every movie I've ever seen about utopia isn't really utopia. There always seems to be somebody running it. Communism doesn't work. There's always somebody greedy. And as long as that exists, you have to be aware of that. And I don't think you can ever get so airy-fairy and think that, oh, life's just going to be all wonderful. It's not. It's a journey. But I would love that we lock arms and that we stop hating on each other, because I think part of the evil right now is that they want us to see each other as different, because that is how, divide and conquer is a thing. Right. If you see me different for whatever reason, if you see me as a man, a woman, a black, or white, then we're different. I've always looked at it this way, and I do have to go in a couple minutes, but I'm loving this. Like, you're inspiring me to no end. But I also see this oppression, this need to dominate other people. It seems to be human nature to dominate. It seems to be human nature to be at war. We've been at war since the day we started. I don't know why that is, but I also know in the Lion Kingdom, there's one male for a whole pride, and when he gets old, some young buck comes along, fights him, and if he loses, he goes off somewhere and dies. Maybe it's just the human condition. But while we're here, I want to have as much fun. I'm going to impact as many people as I can. I'm going to talk about love and happiness as much as I can. And I'm also going to talk about this thing called manifestation. Because if you believe it, you can achieve it. I was with some filmmakers last night, and we got into a very big discussion. I said, guys, here's what you need to understand about manifestation. You have to believe in it 101%. You don't get to hesitate at all, okay? If you hesitate, it doesn't work. Now, I can tell you that I don't believe in gravity. I don't believe in gravity. I just decided gravity doesn't exist. I don't believe in it. But watch this. Oh, gravity works even if I don't believe in it. Think about that. So manifestation, I'm going to tell you from somebody who does it every day, it works whether you believe in it or not, but it won't work for you if you don't believe. Okay, it's true. You have to surrender to something a little bigger than yourself. True. And I'm going to do this religious because it's not up to me to tell you one way or the other to believe, but this concept to believe in something bigger than yourself, like gravity, bigger than me, can't get around it, it's always going to be there. Manifestation is having a vision and then taking the steps to get that vision to be true. Well, when you go to make a movie, You have to visualize it. You wrote it on a piece of paper. I recently read the Star Wars original script. It's okay. It looks kind of, but somebody had the imagination of what it was going to be, saw it, convinced a whole lot of people about something that didn't exist, convinced actors and artists and costume people to build a world that did not exist because he saw it in his head. James Cameron saw Avatar before we all saw Avatar. He already knew it existed, or he couldn't have built it. So as you are building your dream, your company, your life, write it down. Imagine, what does it look like? What is that perfect day, that perfect life, that perfect whatever you want? You have to have the courage to write it down, to believe it's already happened, and then watch what happens. And I know this because this is how I live my life. And it's a challenge every day because reality is different than where my head wants to go. But I look at the man who loves me, who is everything I ever dreamed of. Everything I ever dreamed of? Well, then I dreamed of it, didn't I? Having two healthy kids who are making a difference is everything I ever dreamed of. Having a voice that mattered. I used to love the movie Gandhi. I used to be blown away that a barefoot guy in a towel or a robe could be heard, could make a difference. You want to go back to Jesus? Let's get real for a second. There was no internet back then. Something he said has resonated for thousands of years. How is that possible? So I have a vision that I can do this. And I will tell you, I finally leaned into my own vision, and I surrendered to the possibility, and I stopped listening to everyone say, oh, women can't do this, or women can't do... I'm sorry, what? And found a platform about love, about hope, and about manifestation. So here's the thing, guys. Whatever you believe, whatever you dream, and dream big. Write it down. Tell people about it. You dream it, you believe it, you speak it out to the world. I'm going to say that I want to be bigger and more well-known than Oprah. Why not? What I love about Oprah, but she's not a mom. And I will tell you, when you've got little kids, as a woman, you're different. And so how can you be part of my vision? I love that. Come on Sunday, come meet me, and I will see you live on my screen, or come to my social media, or just go to ForbesRiley.com. And we are building this. And I'm going to tell you, I am not sure how you build all this. I just know we're building it. I just know the rain is coming. I know the rain is coming, and we're going to build an ark. And the only way to get on the ark is that you got to believe. You got to believe in your dream, be able to tell me your dream, be able to tell me you see your dream, and then I'll help you go get there. Don't come to me and say, well, I don't know what I want to do. I've got all these ideas. Then you wait till you get some clarity. You hang out, and I'm not joking. You got to find some clarity and nail one thing down. And then I'll leave you with this last phrase, that finishing is happiness. Finish what you started. Finish the book. Finish the podcast. Finish whatever it is. Finishing is happiness.
Yeah.
Hold it in your hand. Let it be real. Kind of like having a baby. It was nice being pregnant, but watching them grow up, finishing is happiness.
Yeah.
All right, Julian, any last question you got before we go?
Wow. This was such a golden time. I hope you guys that are tuning in, if you came halfway or a quarter of the way, make sure you watch this from the beginning, because I mean, we touch on sales, we touch on vision, we touch on, issues of the past that are influencing you today and how to get past some of that. And then we even talked into some, fundamental issues, facing our society, kind of going into a theological, philosophical kind of discussion, and just really great stuff. I mean, there's just so much value, insight, charisma, and positive energy that you bring to the table, Dr. Riley. And real quick, how can we get a hold? I pinned your website there in the chat. Is that how we can get access to you through these Sunday trainings?
You know what? If you would pin the actual link, go to www. Pitch Secrets Masterclass. And I am doing it, like I said, every Sunday live. It's a little bit of my preaching and teaching and all the crazy things that we do. That link is right there. And I have been live almost every Sunday since we started during COVID, because I'm on a mission. I want to meet and connect and love on as many people as humanly possible while I'm here. And what that means, too, is that you share this with a friend. I see Miss Sue Kabuki. Sue is a beautiful woman. I see Amy. I see a lot of my friends who popped on. You guys, this was one of Mama's really long rants about life, love, and the pursuit of happiness. And I'm going to keep doing this. And the more that I spend time with McKenna and I listen to her, I see how people are attracted to this energy. I've had her in my life my whole life, or her whole life. And as a young woman, I do think as women, we need to find our voices. We need to love on our men, but find out who we are. Stop playing small, you guys. Because when you do, and McKenna always says it, success is on the other side of fear. Do what makes you crazy. Do what you're afraid of, but get it done. Get your ebook out there. Get your online course. Get whatever it is you said you were going to do. And by the way, we don't need all of your own products. I told you guys, I made a living supporting other people's products. Help a lot of other people. It's not about you. What is it? There's no you in team? I'm just kidding. There's no I in team either. But there's a meeting. All right, you guys, I got to run. I got a big meeting to get to. This was great. Sulon, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Do you know who's on here? All right, we got our South African contingency. Sulani is on here.
Oh, wow.
My friend, I know. She flew all, get this, she flew all the way from South Africa to come into my studio to be one of my live students. Now, here's another thing I'll put in your ear, Julian. I normally do, for the last 20 years, 4 trainings live a year with about 40 people in them. This year, I've done 0. I've done 0 because we are in a building phase with my company, but everybody keeps going, wait, we want to connect to you live. So I'm going to announce next week the only live training that I'm going to do. It only holds 40 people in my studio and 40 people virtually, period. That's it. So if you guys want to stay in my world, want to get on that little mailing list to be the first one to go, there is a chance. I think we're already going to be sold out, to be honest with you. I think the minute I announce it, we're going to be sold out. So I might have to do a second one because it's the coolest thing. It's like Christian has been there. I mean, a lot of people watching today have been there. And I got to tell you, this one's going to be off the chart because it's been now a year since I've done a live one. And I've got so many people that I need to love on, to hug, to just, oh my gosh, the roof is going to explode. So stay tuned for that as well.
Can we get to that through this website?
No, you can't get it to it through any website. All you can do is get to be in my radar. Come this Sunday. That's my first thought.
Okay.
Or reach out to me, Forbes Riley, and I'll tell you what. Or pop me, go into my social media. I still do all my own Facebook. And just let me know, and I'll get you on this list when we do this announcement because, like I said, kind of like Taylor Swift, it's going to sell out in minutes. No, I can't sing, so don't worry about it. All right, you guys.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Riley. This has been amazing. You have been such a blessing. I just pray nothing but continued prosperity and protection and to bring out the continuation of your vision of helping others, enriching others, adding value to others. That's a special and precious thing. I just, whatever I can do to help be a part of that, I'm on board, and I just love everything that you're doing. I love what your family's doing, and what an inspiration and blessing to myself, and I believe everybody that has been able to tune into our talk. So, Dr. Riley, the pleasure is ours.
Back at you, but I will see you soon, Julian. Thank you, and thank you, and all you guys watching. Come hang out with us. I can't do this on my own. We're on a mission, and we need each other, literally arm in arm. So put a big smile on your face, give yourself a big hug, and I will see you again next time. Bye, everybody.
Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you guys again soon. All right. This was a special episode. Make sure you go back and watch this from the beginning. We talked about some great stuff, regardless of kind of where you are in life, you're spiritually, business-wise, whatever you got going on. This is a live and a message that you want to tune into because there's a lot of good insight. Wow. I mean, I can't, it's kind of overwhelming. But for those of you that watch it, I know that you will be blessed, so really powerful stuff. And what a privilege to even be able to host her. You know, that's a merit. She said it herself. She doesn't do this kind of stuff. So this was a special time. What I'm going to be doing is I'm actually, so once this live is done, I'm going to be posting the full version on my Instagram. It'll be right there on my feed. It'll also be on my YouTube. So you can check it out in a number of different platforms and catch it from the beginning. So yeah, really special. Glad you guys could tune in. Such a special time. I'm really humbled and taken aback by this time that we had together. So, whew, like I said at the beginning, we're going to be having people that add value. And Dr. Forbes Riley added a lot of value this week. We'll be having somebody else again next week, all in different niches, you know, real estate, tech, or, you know, inspirational, spiritual, just different people who are proven in their space come and have time like this where they can just pour into us, pour out into with all of that wealth, all of that knowledge, that experience, stuff that you can't learn you're not going to learn in college, honestly, right? Because Dr. Riley could only come with that kind of authority and position because of her success, her track record. And yeah, she was really digging into me as well. I wasn't ready. I don't know how you get ready for an interview with Dr. Forbes Riley. I tried to be as ready as possible, but at the end of the day, you know, somebody who's clearly at another level, 2.5 billion in sales. That's another level, right? So I mean, but if we want to get to the next level, we got to hang around people who are at the next level, be exposed to their mindset, their thinking. That's something we'll be doing each week, Fridays, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Yeah. And what's really cool is if you tune in live, you can ask questions and have them answered potentially right there in real time. So definitely catch the lives. The recordings are great too, but it's better to be there when it's actually going down. Man, what a great time we had today, guys. Man, God bless you. God keep you. And have a great weekend. We will see you guys next week for the next IG Live. All right? We'll see you soon. God bless.